Today's video is very kindly sponsored by tails.com, which is the dog food subscription service that we use for Pinky. And they do have an offer for you guys if you want to find out how you can get 1 free month of tailored dog kibble plus 75% off the rest of their website for up to 2 dogs with £1 shipping. And then just keep watching. I will talk a bit more about that in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back to my vlog channel. Just a little introduction in case you have never seen my videos before and you don't know what this channel is. I know that the majority of you watch my main channel as well, and so I have come over to here, but just in case, my name is Sophie, and me and my partner James, who is actually upstairs, you might be able to hear him gaming, we actually rescued a dog a year and a half ago now. When we first got her, she was around like 6 months old, and she's now 2, which that time has just gone so quickly. And I've made quite a few videos about her on this channel before, because this is my more sort of like lifestyle channel and where I just like update you guys about stuff that's going on in my life. When we first got her, I did a vlog all about that, and I had a lot of questions at that sort of time about rescuing and just getting a dog in general. There was definitely a lot to learn, and like, don't get me wrong, there still is stuff that we're still learning, but I feel like now that she's 2, she's definitely grown up a lot. We've learned a lot of things along the way, and whenever I post about her on Instagram and stuff, or on her Instagram, because she does have an Instagram, it is Pinky Does Life if you want to follow it, I always get DMs like, oh, how's the training coming along? Or like, have you got any tips? I'm thinking of rescuing a dog, like what's your advice and stuff like that. So I thought that I would do a little Pinky update video after having her for a year and a half. So I asked for some questions on her Instagram. Shall I go get her? Oh, here she is. I was gonna say my little girl, but she's actually really big now. Oh, who's this?
Hello.
Who's this?
Hello. How you doing? It's Pinky.
This is James.
Hi. How you doing?
She's absolutely obsessed with him. As you might be able to see from the first videos, she's grown a lot since we first got her. She's definitely fully grown now. I mean, I think dogs stop growing depending on like what breed of dog they are. That's another thing as well. Depending on what breed they are, they stop growing at sort of different rates, but at 2 years old, she should be fully grown, right?
Would have thought so.
I can't really see how big she is because she's on my lap. But yeah, this is Pinky, and
Obsessed with her.
we are both obsessed with her. She's just the sweetest dog ever. She's really sleepy this morning, and also I think she's really full because she just had her breakfast, and normally she will just go onto our bed or like onto the sofa or just on the floor. She likes sleeping on the floor. Sometimes she just sleeps on the laminate floor. But yeah, usually after her breakfast, she's really sleepy, and then when it gets to about lunchtime, she's like, okay, take me for a walk now. The first question actually is, why does only one of her ears stick up? I love it, lol. Honestly, we don't know. I think a lot of dogs have this. I don't know if you can see, like when she turns her head, this ear sticks up, the other ear flops down. When we first got her, they were both flopped down because she was a puppy. She was around like sort of, the vet reckons she was about 7 months old maybe when we first got her. So yeah, they were both flopped down, and I think when puppies are small, they don't have the cartilage in their ears yet. Or like the cartilage it's not strong enough to get their ears to stick up, which is why a lot of puppies do have floppy ears. But then yeah, it was so random. One of them went up, and then for a few months it went back down again. And now for like the past year, she's had one ear up, one ear down. So the answer to that is we don't know. Some dogs just have that, I guess. Was there lots of other dogs to choose from other than Pinky? There was quite a few. So we got her from a rescue place where they take dogs over from Romania, because in Romania they have a lot of stray dogs, and sadly a lot of them end up getting killed. And the particular rescue place that we went through, they basically go over to Romania and they take dogs out of this. It's kind of like a shelter which is called Daniflor, I think. To my understanding, there's just like hundreds of dogs in there, and they're all packed into these like, I guess like, not like cages, but like they're behind bars just on like the concrete. They'll have loads of dogs in the same sort of like unit, and they're just taken off the streets and brought there. And if the dogs don't end up getting adopted from there, a lot of them are actually end up being killed, which is really sad. And so this organization goes over there and tries to get as many of them out of Daniflor as they can. I think there was around maybe like 10 other dogs that came with her. They come in like a little mini bus, which they call the happy bus. And so yeah, there were quite a few dogs that were up for adoption at that time. We just saw it come up on Facebook because I followed quite a lot of like rescue places in London and like the surrounding area, or even just like down south. We were happy to like travel to wherever. And so the particular place that we got her from was called No Boundaries Dog Rescue. And yeah, there were quite a few other dogs that were up for adoption, but we just saw the little picture of Pinky and Perky actually. And there was another dog as well that was called Louise, because we were looking for like a smaller dog, and it estimated that she was going to be a small dog. So we just sort of like said we'd be interested in those 3. Like, we love the look of Pinky. Like, she looks really sweet, and yes, we just inquired about her, and then obviously had to go through all the checks and everything. We'd love to know if the rescue matched you to Pinky and what sort of questions they asked. So yeah, we basically had to fill out this form, which was quite a lot of information, which was about sort of like, you know, where we lived, what we did for work, what type of dog we were looking for, if we had kids, our lifestyle, sort of like what we like to do, if we like to go out for walks, if we had a garden, like is the garden secure, like loads of different questions, like what's the surrounding area like, is it a noisy area, is it quite quiet. They did quite a lot of those sort of checks, but I think the reason why we were sort of picked as one of the preferable people is because obviously we're just a couple, we don't have kids, we don't live in a particularly busy area, we're lucky enough to have a garden which is like secure, and so she's able to, you know, go outside and play and do a business and whatever. We like walking, and obviously like I work from home 95% of the time, James works from home sometimes as well, so I think for that reason we were like a pretty good fit. But it depends on the dog and it depends on the rescue place. So that was a little bit of her backstory. So these are the more questions about her current life. One of the questions, and I literally am not making this up, I will put the screenshot of it here, it's from Brighty97, and they've said, do you still give her tails.com food? If you do, does she have a favourite flavour? Pinky is adorable. First of all, thank you. And yeah, we are still giving her tails.com food, and I'm not just saying that for part of the sponsorship. When I worked with them last year, we just stuck with it, and it works pretty well for us. I think mostly because of the convenience, like it just shows up at our door every month, and it's got like a whole selection of different foods. She doesn't actually have a particular favourite flavour. Pinky's not particularly fussy. She'll pretty much eat anything. So basically what it is, quickly, if you don't know, it is a tailored dog food subscription service. So you get it on a monthly basis. Once you've signed up, you can cancel at any point or you can pause it. So, you know, it's entirely up to you. You can have the tailored dry food, which is like the kibble stuff, which we actually do a mix of both the tailored dry food and the wet food. And when you're signing up for it, you basically put in your, well, you put in their name, and they actually write their name on the bag and on the scoop, which is really cute. But yeah, you put in their name, you put in how old they are, you put what breed they are, if you know what breed they are, what size they are, their weight and everything. If they've got any special like dietary requirements, like for example, if they don't eat particular meats or if they've got a sensitive stomach. And then once you've put in their weight, you can put whether you want them to stay the same and maintain their weight, or whether you want them to lose a little bit of weight, or whether you want them to try and gain a bit of weight. And there's lots of specific things. So you basically completely customize it to your dog so that they get the exact right food for them, and hopefully like for their digestive needs and stuff. And honestly, it's just really convenient because the parcels will just show up on our doorstep. We don't have to go out to the shops and like carry home heavy dog food. You don't have to remember to go out and buy your dog food. It literally just arrives on your doorstep. So it does come with a piece of paper which tells you exactly what portions your dog needs, and then it comes with the scoop as well. So this you can actually adjust, and so for Pink she needs Z3, and it says 2 scoops a day, so 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So the scoop is for her dry food, which comes in this bag, which has got her name on it. So we take 1 scoop of this. Today she's got country casserole with chicken, potatoes and green beans, which actually sounds really nice. Just put some of this on top. Lovely. And then that can go in the fridge for later. And now we bring it to a very excited dog. Is that nice? And yeah, Pinks just seems to absolutely love it. She seems to love every single one of the recipes that we give her. So if you would like to get 1 month of free tailored kibble, which is like the dry dog food, and 75% off the rest of the tails.com range, then you can use my discount code, which is soph. I will put it on the screen. I will also leave a link down below, or you can just scan the QR code, which is pretty fancy. I've never had a QR code in an ad before, but there you go, that's pretty helpful. So to answer that question, yes, we are still feeding her tails.com stuff, and she really loves it. So if you guys are interested, I will leave all the information linked down below, or just scan the QR code. How has her personality changed / developed? Any training issues, and the best things about Pinky and worst. Okay, so that's quite a lot of things, I guess. How has her personality changed and developed? She is still quite crazy. She is definitely a lot more confident now. I mean, when we got her, she was relatively confident after the first couple weeks, but she loves every dog. She loves to play, like playing is her favorite thing, especially with another dog. Like if it's not with another dog, it will be with a football in the garden. That is her new favorite thing. She loves playing with a football, which is difficult if we go out and about anywhere and anybody is playing with a ball. We have to like put her on the lead immediately because she will go and steal their ball. She is very loving. She loves a cuddle. She loves to bark. She is definitely a guard dog. Anything that she hears outside of the house, she will bark and howl. She's very noisy, but I kind of don't want to train her out of that, just because at least it's pretty good for our safety, you know? If someone's outside the house, we will know about it before before they've rung the bell because Pinky will hear them. She's got a funny little personality. She loves to lick people, which a lot of people don't like, and she loves food. She's very food motivated. She is very good though in terms of like, if I'm sat on the sofa eating something, she will jump up next to me and she'll want some, but if I tell her no, she will just sit there and stare at me until I finish my dinner, and usually at the very end, if I've got a bit of something left over, I might give it to her. And then a lot of people were asking about her training. How is her recall now? Someone said I've had a rescue dog for a year now and her recall is still quite bad at times. How is Pinky with that? So when we first got her, obviously we couldn't let her off the lead for ages because she's a rescue and she was like on the streets for the first sort of like 6 months of her life. She probably would have had to like chase stuff, maybe for food. I don't really know, like we don't fully know her entire backstory. But a lot of Romanian rescues and a lot of rescues that have come from other countries or have been like strays have got a very high prey drive, which is understandable. So I would say for like the first year we couldn't really let her off the lead because she was so unreliable. She didn't come back to us when we called her. She would just, as soon as she saw a bird or something in the distance, she would be gone. She would just sprint after it. We'd be calling her and calling her back and she wouldn't come back. We even had like a dog whistle, she wouldn't come back to that. We would bring treats out with her, she still wouldn't come back because she was so focused on whatever she was chasing because she loves the chase. However, I'm happy to say she is doing so much better, and I would say in the past sort of like 3 months even, it's taken her until this long to actually be able to be off the lead, which is amazing. Like honestly, we never thought we would get to this point. Don't get me wrong, she is still not perfect in any sense, and she still has times where sometimes she will fixate on a bird and she will run into the distance, but I mean obviously she always comes back because we've still got her here, but in those instances now it seems like she will chase the bird and then as soon as she can't get the bird anymore, she will then turn around and think, oh yeah, my humans, and then she will come back to us. So she'll still run after it and chase it, but she will come back, whereas in the past she would just like run off and we would have to go and find her, and it was just really stressful. What we actually did is we had quite a few training sessions. I think we had maybe like 10 training sessions with a trainer, or like and she was like a dog behaviorist as well, and she'd worked with rescues in the past. Basically what she taught us and helped to train her to do is to come back to an emergency whistle, so that she knows that if we blow the whistle in a specific way, like for us it's if you blow the whistle 5 times quickly, if she hears that whistle she knows that she has to come back to us because it's like an emergency kind of situation. And so we would just let her run and stuff when she's off the lead, and she will usually go like a bit ahead of us and stuff, and she'll be like sniffing about, and most of the time she stays sort of like within like a, I don't know, 20-meter radius so we can still see her. And obviously we only let her off in places where we know that it's going to be safe. We can see where she's gone. Like if it's a wooded area, we're a bit more wary of it because if she goes like right or left into the trees, we can't see where she's gone. At the start with the emergency whistle, she would get like an amazing treat when she would come back to us, and that treat was cat food, sachets of cat food. That was her special treat. That helped loads, but honestly I think it just takes time. If you've got a dog that isn't so great with recall, try and take them to fields that are like enclosed. There are certain fields where you can sort of like book out, which are specifically for dog training. Or just if you know of like a big open field that's got fences around it and you're able to use it, then give them a go with that. And I think the more that sort of Pinky had been given the opportunity to go off the lead in an enclosed environment and we could sort of get her to come back to us, it seems like just slowly over time she's getting better and better at it, to the point where we were like, you know what, let's try it on our usual walking route and see what happens. And most of the time she's fine, but obviously there are some walks where we can't let her off the lead if it's a location where it's going to be too dangerous for us or for other people. When I say other people, obviously like we don't want her to run up to a dog that is on the lead, that's maybe like a nervous dog or something. So if we see anybody walking their dog on the lead, we'll put her on as well, because we don't want to like risk her running up to them, which has happened a few times, like accidentally. But yeah, I really just think that it takes time. As she's gotten a little bit older, she's not as interested in the birds anymore, whereas she used to chase after every single bird ever. Now she'll maybe go for like, I don't know, 1 out of 10 birds. And just practice and patience and giving them a lot of praise when they do come back. It definitely takes some work. but I would say if you are going through the same thing and you've got a rescue dog and you're getting frustrated at the fact that they can't be off the lead, it might take time. And like, there are some rescue dogs that can never be off the lead. We thought that Pinky was going to be one of those, but just after a lot of training and practice, she has slowly gotten better. So don't give up hope, I guess. Just like keep going with it. Does she know any tricks? She can do sit, she can do lie down, she can do paw, she can do up, as in like onto the sofa or something, or like into the car. She can almost do down, not a lot. That's all she really knows. But I guess that's all she really needs. She doesn't do anything fancy. She can't do a backflip. Oh, and the best one that she does is that she will sit and wait for her food. When we bring over her food, we will go sit, and then she'll sit, and she'll wait, and we'll say wait, and then we put her food down. We could wait there for like 2 minutes and she just wouldn't move until we say yes. And it's the same with like treats as well. We managed to do that from like a very sort of like early age with her, and we would do it like every single time we fed her, and now that's just really stuck, so that's great. What's something that she's learned that you didn't intend to teach her? Every single day without fail, she has this little routine. One of us will come downstairs to let her out, because she sleeps downstairs actually. She doesn't sleep on our bed. She can sleep on our bed during the day, but when we actually go to sleep, we put her downstairs, because we've tried having her sleep on our bed a couple times, but she will just like be licking our face at 5 in the morning, so it doesn't work out so well. So she sleeps downstairs and she's totally fine with that. We actually put the Alexa on for her just so that she's got a bit of like background noise, and that seems to really help. And yeah, she's happy to just sleep down here. She's actually like never really been a massive problem with like just sleeping downstairs and away from us. Like, she never really sort of like barked for us loads in the morning. She just knows that she's like sort of asleep until we come downstairs, which is amazing. We got pretty lucky with that. One of us will come in, we will let her out to the toilet. Most of the time she doesn't go until she's had her food. She's like, no, 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 I don't want the toilet right now. I want you to feed me. So then we'll go into the kitchen, like pick up her bowl, go into the kitchen. And in the meantime, while we are preparing her food, she will sprint up the stairs, like, and jump, like fly, catapult herself onto the bed to whoever is still in bed. If it's me or if it's James, depending who's feeding her that day, she will run up, she will give them a little kiss, say hello, be super excited, and then as soon as she then hears the food be sort of like poured into her bowl, of like the biscuits hitting the bowl and us going to put her food down, she will come sprinting down the stairs again, and then we will do the whole sit, wait, yes, and then she will go and get her food. But she does it every single day. She does the little like, and also we did not train her to howl at the postman, but she does that anyway too. And in terms of bad habits, for a while, like maybe the first year of her life, maybe even more than that, she would chew everything. She would chew up shoes, she would chew our slippers, she would chew anything that she could get her hands on, she would chew it. Mostly shoes, to be honest. She would chew them a lot, but now she's grown out of her chewing phase, thank God. Although there are a few setbacks. One of my Taylor Swift wristbands, which I had since I was 13, it rolled out of a bag that I had that had fallen over, like a bag of stuff that I'd taken from my parents' house, and because it was like a rubber chewy band thing, I guess she thought it was a toy and she ripped it to pieces, which was very sad, and I had to buy another one. But that was the first time in a while that she's chewed anything up, so yeah, she did grow out of that one. Her main favourite thing to chew at the moment is just a stick. If we go out for a walk, she loves to chew a stick. Also, something with the whole recall thing that we found helped massively is when we are out and about on a walk, when we are about to let her off, we will pick up maybe like 3 different sticks, and as soon as we let her off, we will throw a stick for her in the opposite direction of, like, I don't know, other people walking or a bird or something, so that her attention is on playing with this stick. And then when she goes and runs and gets that one, we'll go in another direction and throw another stick, so that she's constantly sort of like chasing a stick about, and that tires her out for a bit, which kind of takes her attention off any distractions around us and keeps her attention on us, which is so helpful. And usually after about like 10-15 minutes, she'll get bored of the sticks and like chasing after them, but by that point it's got out some of her energy and like the chasing that she wants to do. What toys did she become most attached to? Her favorite toy, let me just grab it. Thank you for guarding us, Pinks. Yeah, as you could see, somebody just rang on the door and that is how Pinky reacts to it. But in terms of toys, I can't find her treat ball anywhere. She had it yesterday when Sophie, Jazz and Roxy were here, and I've got no idea where it has gone, but it's this little red ball and it's got a little sort of like bit that you can turn and you can fill it with treats, and then she has to push it round with her nose to sort of like shake the treats out. That is such a good one for keeping her entertained, especially if we have people round. But I would say that her favourite toys, footballs for one, if she wants to chase something, but anything stuffed, but it will end up like this. This poor elephant is decapitated. Yeah, anything that she can rip to shreds. How is she with other dogs on walks? If their dog is off lead and if their dog is sort of like running around playing with other dogs, then we will just let her go and play with them, and she absolutely loves playing. But yeah, like I said, if we do see another dog that's walking on the lead, like maybe the owner has got them on the lead for a reason, then we will try and like call her back to us, which she never used to do. She would always just bolt straight for the dog. But now, like, we use the emergency whistle, she comes back to us, we tell her to wait, we put her on, and then we can breathe. How long did it take Pinky to settle after rescuing? Is she still nervous? She is nervous of certain things, like for example, if somebody comes to the door. I think like she's very protective of our house and like her home environment. I think for her and us to have like a full, like proper bond with us, where she fully trusts us with everything and like settle into her full routine, probably about a year, to be honest. But in terms of like her being trusting, like she wasn't super nervous from like the first week that we got her. She seemed to trust us from the very beginning, which is really lovely, but she didn't always trust other people. But she's definitely got a lot better with that now. Like when we would invite people around before, some of them she would like really bark at them as if they were an intruder, whereas now she's definitely gets excited when people come around, and she would still bark at them and try and like jump at them and stuff, but she's definitely more like settled and less nervous than she used to be. When did you first leave her home alone and how did you prepare her for it? You know what, I can't even remember. I think it was a few months into getting her. We maybe left her alone for like half an hour at first, or an hour, just to see how she would get on with it. We would just give her like something to play with, like give her a chew, put the radio on for her so that she's got some like distractions. But after a few times of like leaving her alone for shorter amounts of time, we sort of like slowly built up to it, and then she sort of seemed okay. Like she seemed to get used to it, kind of like when she goes to bed without us. And I think her not sleeping on our bed is actually probably good for her, because she's not like super attached to us where she's with us 24/7. Like she has a good 8-10 hours in the evening where she's just down here by herself. So I guess that helped her sort of like get used to being by herself. How are her paws that she was biting at? So when we first got her, she was like really chewing at the skin on like her legs, and sort of like just above her paws. She was like really chewing at it until it was raw. And we asked the vet about it, and they said that like they didn't think that she was really allergic to something. They think it was just sort of like a nervous habit. I guess like us biting our nails. She still does it sometimes, but she's got so much better with it. I think again, that was something that she sort of grew out of. And I think as well, as long as she's had like a good walk, she's been like mentally stimulated, then she doesn't do it as much. Whereas if there are times where like we haven't been able to walk her for like a good few hours, when she normally gets walked, then she will start to get a bit more like antsy, and that's when she gets a bit more like barky and annoying, and maybe like she'll start chewing her legs a bit more. But she doesn't do it as much anymore, like nowhere near as much as she used to, which is really good. And I think that was again something that she just sort of like grew out of as she settled into her routine a bit more. A lot of people were asking, will you get a partner for her? Will you get another dog? No, for the moment we will not be getting another dog. We would love to, but having Pinky by herself is hard enough work. It just wouldn't be practical at the moment, because when we go away somewhere, or if we need to go out for the day somewhere, James's parents are happy to take her, because obviously looking after 2 dogs isn't that drastically different to looking after 1 dog, because obviously you're still walking them every day anyway. However, if they then had to look after 3 dogs, if we had 2 and they had 1, that would be very difficult for them, I think. It just wouldn't be fair on James's parents to have to look after 3 dogs. But yeah, there we go. That covered most of the questions. Overall, she's doing really good. She really seems to have like settled into her life with us, and we absolutely adore her. I just could not imagine life without her now. Like I fully understand now that being a dog owner is like another level of like having a pet. Like it's just your family. I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in the tails.com food, there will be a link down below, and thank you to them for sponsoring that part of the video. I hope you guys are doing really well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.